24 Republican attorneys general have sent a warning letter to credit card companies to tell them to not go through with their plans to create a gun registry. Okay, before we start, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button, hit that notification bells, and then please give us a like. It helps. Okay, ready? Let's get into this. So we have 24 attorneys general sent a letter to credit card companies warning against creating a gun registry by targeting gun purchases. All right. A letter was written by 24 Republican attorneys general where they warned the top credit card, Visa, MasterCard, and American Express companies to not begin tracking gun purchases in gun shops across the country. What's going on is the Democrats want to create a gun registry of American citizens who exercise their Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. They can't do that legally because there is a Second Amendment, and that's called an infringement. So what they do, what these fascists do, is they get corporate fascists, woke executives, to do their dirty work for them. For example, we found out recently, we did a story on this, that through a lawsuit through a new civil rights organization that's suing the Biden administration, that the Biden administration was in cahoots. They were having weekly censorship meetings with the tech tyrants, with the social media tech tyrants. So that's called fascism. Okay, when you're government and you get a private corporation to do something that you can't do, that's called fascism. Okay, and they're acting on behalf of the government, and that's what I believe the evidence points to here. Okay, what they want to do is the Democrats want to put in a universal background check. So the credit card companies, either the Democrats who are in cahoots with them, or the pushing the narrative, the agenda, the left wing woke supremacy, whatever you want to call it. The credit card companies started changing the category on sales that come from gun shops, so that if they do get a universal background check bill through, they'd have to kill the filibuster to do that. But if they do, then what will happen is they will be able to then use that federal law to go into an American citizen, a law-abiding gun owner's credit card statements to see if there's anything that marks up that they purchased a gun. Okay, and they could pretty much tell, by the value of what was spent, they can guess that, that if it's between $500 and $1,000, it's probably a handgun. Anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 on up, and then it's probably a rifle. They will probably designate 100% of rifles as the evil AR-15, because that's the boogeyman of Democrats and anti-gun leftists everywhere. So the AG sent a letter to Visa, MasterCard, and American Express with the argument that the data they're going to store is likely to be misused and abused, you think, by Democrats, and will do nothing that leads to Americans becoming safer. Okay? Credit card companies said that their new policy won't prevent gun purchases from happening, but will create a database of each purchase. Okay, so why the hell are they creating a database then? Like what's it for? It's not going to prevent you from gun purchases. We're just creating a database. That's all we're doing. It's metadata. Remember that whole argument? It's only metadata. Doesn't mean anything. Well, this is what they're doing. I mean, this has the stink of Democrats all over it. Okay? I mean, we've been through so much with these people over the last 2 years that I don't put anything beyond them. So why are they creating a database? What do they think the data is going to be for? Okay? I mean, my God. So what they did is they wrote a letter on Saturday, actually. Senate Republicans wrote a similar letter to credit card companies. A dozen Republican senators that was led by Senator Roger Marshall of Kansas, made the argument that these companies are overreaching their authority. Personally, I don't think they have an authority. They have a fiduciary responsibility to their clients to not hand over their data. Okay? Quote, "This decision, which is already being hailed by radical anti-gun activists, is the first step towards backdoor gun control in law-abiding Americans," the senators wrote to the credit card company CEOs. "Any change that seeks to impact a United States citizen's ability to legally purchase a firearm belongs with Congress, not payment networks, international standard-setting organizations, or the financial institutions that some of you serve." They're exactly right. You are choosing to insert yourselves into this political debate which should only be fought at the ballot box and in Congress. And in doing so, you are making clear that you are more than unbiased network operators seeking to maximize value for your customers and shareholders. They don't give a rat's ass. They're all woke. They belong to the woke supremacy. You have become anti-gun activists yourselves, wittingly or not, the senators wrote. The creation of a merchant category code for sales of U.S. gun stores will not only not accomplish its intended goal, but is rife for misuse and abuse. Attorney General Schmidt said, Missourians have their Second Amendment rights. They value the Second Amendment rights and oppose any attempts to create a de facto gun registry. I'm proud to stand for those rights and will oppose this decision by major credit card companies at every turn, and he should. It says the new code will not protect public safety. Categorizing the constitutionally protected right to purchase firearms unfairly singles out law-abiding merchants and consumers alike. He's right, because think about this. Do you think criminals, this is what happens every time Democrats come up with gun control laws. They only affect law-abiding gun owners because they want to take your guns. They don't give a rat's ass about ending gun crimes. They really don't. If they did, they wouldn't come up with things like this. So think about this. How many criminals with felonies, how many criminals do you know are able to get past an FFL? Okay? I mean, you have to go to a federally licensed firearm license dealer in all 50 states in order to purchase a firearm. Okay? You can't do that if you have a felony. That's why you got to go through a background check, right? So the people that they say they want to go after, right, are the criminals, but the criminals aren't going to be affected by this. The criminal will buy his guns where he always does. He buys them on the street, buys them from a friend, buys them from a gun dealer that's dirty. Okay? Why don't they go after them instead of going after law-abiding gun owners who purchase them legally, who go through background checks? You know, it's because the Democrats want to go after your guns. Look, anyone tells you differently, they're lying to you. It's that simple. They're just lying to you. So, I mean, this is literally how the Nazis, I hate to bring up the Nazis because the left does it all the time, but this is true. This is true history. In the Weimar Republic, before the Nazis got elected to power, they thought, hey, let's create a gun registry. Remember, that was a lot of years ago. And they thought, well, they convinced the people in the Weimar Republic. They said, well, you know what? If there's a crime in your community and we know who has the guns in that community, then investigations would be done quicker. Okay, and plus, you know, it might deter them since the police and the state would know. So the people bought into that. But then the Nazis got elected. And you know what they did? They took that gun registry and knocked door to door and took their guns away. They did. That's what they did. They went door to door. They had either military, militia, or cops. And they said, give us your guns or you know, you'll die. That's what they did. And they disarmed them. And then the tyranny really began. Okay? If you give up your Second Amendment rights right now or anytime, okay, the Second Amendment is the linchpin for all the rest of your rights. There are 300 million guns in this country by law-abiding gun owners, okay, most of them. And the Democrats know this. The tyrants, they know this, okay? So they want to disarm you by getting rid of the Second Amendment, okay? They want to legally, if you will, try to take your guns from you. All right, because then the tyranny begins. Because the only reason that we don't have gulags besides the DC Gitmo, okay, where political prisoners are right now, the only reason we don't have gulags and things like that so far already is because of the Second Amendment. You take away the Second Amendment, watch the rest of the Bill of Rights, watch any other rights that people have claimed, that the government has claimed, which I don't believe the government gives out rights anyway, but all of them will be whitewashed. They'll all go away because the Second Amendment is the only thing that keeps these creeps from throwing you in leg irons and controlling every aspect of your life. Okay, that's it. Thanks a lot. Thanks for spending time with us. Talk to you later. Bye.